Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Kyle Downey, and this is the Sports Download, the show where a Los Angeles native talks sports from a fan's perspective. I might not be unbiased, but I keep it honest and real with you. All right, we got a lot to get to. I'm gonna try to get all this into the show here. And so today is Wednesday, June 21st, and by the time I upload it, there's gonna be all kinds of trades going on in the NBA, all kind of stuff. It's gonna be hard to keep up with, so I'm gonna do a show today. I'm gonna try to do a show after the draft on Thursday, after the NBA draft on Thursday, and there's a lot going on as we speak right now. There's talk that the Wizards are trying to trade Kristaps Porzingis, and they're trying to get a 3-team trade where Porzingis goes to Celtics, and then the Celtics would then move Malcolm Brogdon to the Clippers, and then the Clippers would move Marcus Morris Sr. to the Wizards. So there's a lot going on. I'll try to stay up with it as I'm doing the show, but let's get to it. So over the weekend on Father's Day, hope you all had a happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everybody. But on Father's Day, there was a huge trade that still is not finalized, which is interesting because I think they're trying to figure out where's Chris Paul going to go. But so there's a trade that happened that is still not finalized, but it was Chris Paul and Landry Shamet. Was it Landry Shamet? Chris Paul to Chris Paul to the Wizards. And so Chris Paul to the Wizards, and then for Bradley Beal, and Bradley Beal's a guy who has been in Washington for a long time, and he's gotten paid, and he's got a huge contract of $50 million. Yeah, so here's the deal. It was Bradley Beal to the Suns for Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, and a handful of second-round picks and multiple pick swaps. Basically, that's crazy. It's crazy steal for Phoenix. And the Wizards, they basically shed Bradley Beal's contract, and they can start rebuilding. And sucks for Chris Paul. He found out apparently from his son. His son texted him when he was doing media for his book. But it's a business, and I wish they would let people know ahead of time before they trade him. But so let's get to the trade. So the trade would then let's get to the aftermath. So the Phoenix Suns they have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, and that's a really good offensive team, but they don't have much defense. They hired Frank Vogel, who's a defensive coach. But if you don't set them up with a defensive roster, I saw what happened last year with the Lakers. So I love Frank Vogel. Wish him the best, except I want the Lakers to win the championship, basically. But so they're in a tough spot because they have this year to try to win it all. Because the next year the CBA gets worse. It gets more difficult. The CBA. It gets more punishing for going over the salary cap and things like that. So they're going all in on it this year. KD can play defense. Bradley Beal could maybe play some defense. Booker is okay defensively. He's not really a defensive guy. So they're going to be outscoring teams. But I mean, we saw Denver just win the championship, and it's been the last 5 champions have been teams that have like one superstar player and maybe a star and then great depth, and the Denver Nuggets just did it. So the Suns are zagging while everybody's zigging right now, and I don't think it's going to end up in a championship. It's weird. I'm not that worried because it's a lot of offense and no defense, and I don't think that Kevin Durant is the same Durant that used to just be the best player in the league or second best player. I don't think he's that guy anymore. So it's very interesting. There's a lot of stuff going on, and hey, it's the NBA offseason. Things are going crazy, and things are happening wild. A lot of the NBA, man, it stays popular all year long, stays current, stays relevant with all this news happening. So and then draft day is coming. There's a lot. There's a lot that's gonna happen. A lot going on. So that's Phoenix. They're gonna have to try to get. They're gonna have to try to get their minimum contracts. They're gonna have to re-sign their guys. Their guys are very valuable now, like guys like Biombo and Londale. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting how they navigate it, especially next year. Next year they're gonna have to. I don't know if they can keep all of those three guys together, but we'll see. Let's get some more news. So in Portland, Dame was talking about how he would go to Miami or he'd go to New York, and now it came out that they're shutting. Woj said on Pat McAfee show this morning that they're shutting down all trade talk for Dame. So I don't know. Dame, I guess, is not going anywhere. I've seen there's so many rumors coming out. They're saying that that Dame wants help, that they're willing to trade the number 3 pick, which might end up being Scoot Henderson, because the Hornets might pick Brandon Miller because he might be a better fit for them. He's a small forward. Scoot's gonna be a really good player, but he's a point guard. They already have LaMelo down in Charlotte, so. But yeah, we'll see. Dame, I guess, wants help. He's trying to get Bam Adebayo. That's not gonna happen, I don't think, because Miami wants to get Dame. Miami is apparently waiting for Dame, waiting for Portland to trade Dame, but there's so many possible outcomes that could happen. Looks like they're wanting to trade the number 3 pick, maybe for Paul George. That would be interesting if the Clippers go get Scoot. I don't know if they would do that. I get it if they split up Kawhi and Paul George, because Kawhi is a better player. Paul George seems a little more available, but neither of those guys stayed healthy. So that's what's happening. Dame doesn't want out apparently, but who knows? This league is crazy. It could change at any second. As I'm talking right now, stuff could be changing, and stuff changes by the minute, basically. Gary Trent Jr. of the Raptors. That's a guy I've wanted on the Lakers for a long time. I think he might be a clutch client. I'm not sure, which would bode well for the Lakers. But they would have to trade for him. He's possibly working on a contract extension. He says he wants to be there long term, according to Woj. According to Woj from ESPN, Adrian Wojnarowski. He apparently wants to be there. Oh no, actually, according to Haynes, Chris Haynes broke that from Yahoo Sports. He apparently wants to stay there. I don't know if it's a long-term contract, if it's expiring. Either way, he could still be traded. I'd love to have him on the Lakers. I'm not sure how they would work that out. If they could trade Bamba or Beasley in a pick for that, I would love it. But we'll see. So another one of those things, we'll see, right? Kuzma has declined his option. Everybody knew he was going to do that. He's looking to get paid. He might get $20 million a year. A lot of fans and a lot of Lakers fan accounts are saying something about getting Kuzma. Look, I'd love to have Kuzma again, but he's not a consistent three-point shooter, but I'd still love to have him back. But I'm not sure if that would work with the number, because we can re-sign Rui. I think we should re-sign Rui. He showed he could be a playoff performer, and we definitely have to re-sign Reeves and figure out our guys. You know what I mean? And if it's possible to get Kuzma, I would love it. But also, would he be, now that he's been able to score and spread his wings, would he be willing to be the third guy again or the fourth guy at times? Like it all depends if he's willing to do that. He already did it for the championship, but we'll see what happens there. Will the Lakers trade the 17 pick? I saw Yoel Van Buha said that it's more increasingly likely. I think that's what came out. Anyway, they probably will. They might trade the pick. They could select someone, but I think if you can trade for immediate help for a proven guy, proven talent over, like, we'll see, is always better. Getting an established player over some kid that's getting drafted can be better. So I think they probably trade the pick, especially they might need it to trade Beasley and Bamba, because I'm not sure, or if we could do a sign and trade with D'Lo. So we're still yeah, this is a crazy time. Let's try to rapid fire through these things, through these topics. Um, yeah, the draft is coming, and then after the draft, then we have free agency. So everything's up in the air right now. But I say, try to put us in the best position to win now. You know what I mean? I'm glad that they're not trying to do a third star because we just need depth. Yeah, we just need depth. So I was watching. So I'll try to. Let me see if there's any news going on right now. Any trades that have happened. Let's see. Before we switch topics. Oh, and another wrinkle about that is if the Clippers trade for Brogdon, then they wouldn't be trying to get Chris Paul. Chris Paul, then, if he gets waived, would be a live option to come to the Lakers, which I think they would definitely do because he's friends with LeBron, and he can still play. So, excuse me. Alright, doesn't look like there's anything new at this point. Like I said, anything could change. Let me check Woj. Yeah, I saw a lot of rumors coming out. Alright, nothing new at the moment. Okay. So, nothing new at the moment. Saw some interesting things about Victor Wembanyama. He seems like a really smart kid. I wish him the best, and hopefully he becomes future Laker someday. Just kidding. The Spurs are going to keep on to him. Spurs are going to hold on to him for dear life. But good luck to him. He looks like he's going to be, obviously he's going to be a great player, but he seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders, so that's good for him. Obviously he's going to be the number one pick. Victor Wembanyama is going to be the number one pick in the draft. And then the number 2 looks like it might be Brandon Miller to Charlotte, and then Scoot Henderson to Portland unless they trade the pick. All right, speaking of basketball, obviously basketball, but let's switch over to the WNBA. I was caught the tail end of the Sparks game, and they lost to the Lynx. I caught the tail end of it. It looked like poor execution towards the end, and unfortunately, Chene Ogumake threw the ball away, and they were down 3, and they needed 3 to hit to tie it, and they threw the ball away, and seemed like poor execution down the stretch. They are still in the playoff picture as I was looking at it last night. Let me double check that now, but it's still a long season. They're 10 games in. They got 30 games left. So they're still, the Sparks are still in it. They're in 3rd place right now in the West. As I said before, the top 8 make it. Oh no, they're 5-7 now, which they're still 3rd in the West. But not great. Not great to lose to a team that's just behind you in the Lynx. But Nafisa Collier, she was balling. She had like 26 points last night, so that was rough. Let's see. Let me verify how many. Let me verify. But yeah, Nafisa Collier was balling out last night. Yeah, verifying. Okay, yeah, top 8 teams in the WNBA make the playoffs, so they're still alive right now. But 5-7 is not great. Never great to be below 500. So hopefully they can win. Hopefully they can go on a winning streak. Yeah, it's tough to say because they're 10 games in. Nneka looks like she can be an all-star. She's averaging 20 and 10. But it looks like she's going to be an all-star this year. But yeah, they got to start winning. Got to win games against the Lynx. They have a worse record than you. Got the Wings next. The Wings are a decent team, but the Sparks beat them last time. by 18. So the next few games are a couple games against the Wings and then against the Chicago Sky. So got some winnable games. Hopefully they can pull those out. Top teams right now: the Connecticut Sun, Liberty, Mystics, Dream in the East, and the Aces, Wings, Sparks, Lynx in the West. So yeah, tough loss last night. Hopefully they can win the next one. Let's see. Let's check the WNBA with some other. So there's a lot of Jewel Lloyd is balling out for the Seattle Storm. She's been on a tear. She's gonna be an all-star. Oh, all-star voting ends today. If y'all haven't voted, go vote for the WNBA All-Stars, because that's ending today. Today we had the Aces and the Mercury playing. That's probably Aces victory, but still check that out. That's coming up actually at 12:30. Let's see. So yesterday the Sun beat the Storm. The Sun have a really good team, but we'll see if they can be a playoff contender. The Wings beat the Dream yesterday, and the Aces demolished the Lynx the other day. On Father's Day, Sparks lost to the Sun, and the Dream beat the Fever. Mystics beat the Sky. Liberty demolished the Mercury. So yeah, definitely vote for All-Star. They got a lot of All-Star games coming up quick. Actually, I think All-Star game is next month in July. So yeah, it's tough loss last night for the Sparks, but hopefully they can win the next couple games. And then speaking of the WNBA, off the court, fortunately, I think so. Brittany Griner and the Phoenix Mercury are able to have charter flights now. That was the issue last week where she got harassed. They're able to now have charter flights, and which is great. They're able to have it for the rest of the season, and that'll be good. And hopefully they can change the CBA to where I was listening to yesterday. The pod came out on Monday, but it was Queens of the Court with Jordan Robinson and Cheryl Swoops, and they were talking about it, and they said that that they would have to change the CBA to allow charter flights, and I think it's time. I think they should do that, and then maybe not every team would be able to do it right away, but it would slowly get into effect where these ladies would be able to get on charter flights. And they made the comparison of the NBA didn't start having all their teams fly charter until like 1995, which is crazy because the league was around for like 30 years or way longer. Well, the NBA merger was around for like 24 years, or excuse my math, 19 years at that point. So they've been around for a while. So it's kind of crazy, but it took some protests, like took some protests. So they saw the Bad Boy Pistons had charter flights when they were in the finals in the early 90s. So, and then it kind of just trickled out throughout the league. So if they allow them to start getting charter flights, then hopefully it would just be like copycat. Each team would then copy and do it, because they should have the same safety, and they should have the same safety that the men do. And even more so because there's wackadoodles that try to harass these women for no reason, just hateful and wackos. So hopefully that's good news about Griner and the Mercury getting charter flights, but hopefully they can allow it in the CBA and it'll spread out to the league. All right, so I mentioned there's a lot to get to. So next, I was watching the Dodgers last night. After the Sparks game, I turned on the Dodgers game, and they beat the Angels. They won. I saw Kershaw. Actually, when I tuned in, Kershaw had already sat, but he had a great game. He had gave up no runs, and they ended up giving no runs to the Angels. And I saw the relievers were able, like Caleb Ferguson came in and did a nice job cleaning it up. Excuse me. Before that, Kershaw had bases loaded, but he was able to get out of it. Ferguson came in and struck out Ohtani, and then Phillips was able to close the game. And just great to finally get a win because they were struggling. So glad they got back in the win column, and hopefully they can beat the Angels again. If the freeway series right now is going on, I think it's a 2-gamer. They're in Anaheim. In Anaheim, as I said, they won last night. Oh, excuse me. So they play against the Knight. It's on Fox Sports West, and obviously Spectrum Sportsnet. Play against the Knight at 6:38. So hopefully they can get that win, and then they play the Astros, the hated Astros, next. So yeah, I mean the Angels are they're okay. So hopefully this can be like a good get right game, and then obviously the Dodgers still waiting on health, waiting on Arias to come back towards the end of the month, and hopefully Dustin May down the line. But I did see that Arias might be able to play when they go to Kansas City in the Royals series, and that's the end of the month. They play June 30th, and then also Hudson might be able to come back soon, and that would help the bullpen theoretically. And the bullpen had a nice game last night, so that was good. So we need to get healthy and stay healthy. Need to get healthy and stay healthy and just play well. They were making some errors over the weekend and just some bad baseball, and it was unfortunate now that they lost to the Giants. They're now in third place, so they need to get it together. And but I mean, if they end up winning the division or if they end up making the playoffs, that's all that matters. I don't really care about them getting 100 wins as long as they win enough to get into the playoffs. But right now, every game does count because you don't want them to fall out of the playoffs. But right now, they're still in the playoffs, so that's good. Yeah, Arias and Hudson to return soon. Hopefully their recovery happens well. Excuse me, doesn't make sense. Hopefully they recover soon and they recover on time. Into football. So as I've told y'all before, I'm a Raiders fan. Josh Jacobs has not signed his franchise tag yet, and it's a tough spot for running backs. So Josh Jacobs is a great running back. I think the Raiders should sign him to a deal. Stop playing around. But he's not signed the franchise tag, and he hasn't showed up to anything yet, to mandatory minicamp. I kind of don't blame him because he's been really great, and there's speculation from fans and stuff that they might trade him. I don't think that they would trade him to the Broncos. I hope that they wouldn't trade him because I think he's a great piece. But the Raiders, I just don't know what they're trying to do because, Jimmy G ain't it, as my buddy Aaron Larsoul would say. He ain't it. He can't throw deep. I don't even know if Jimmy G is healthy yet. So the Raiders, I don't know if they could be like 9-8 or they could be 6-10 or 6-11. You know what I mean? So I really don't know. I really don't have much faith. I don't think that McDaniels is a good coach. So, yeah, it's just kind of, I'm just kind of like, let's see what happens. It's unfortunate. I wouldn't have got rid of Derek Carr like they did. You still got Devontae Adams. You still got Max Crosby on the defense. I think if they want to build something successful, they should hold on to a guy like Josh Jacobs. Both him and Saquon Barkley are kind of like beating the drum on, hey, we should be paid well because we're still good players. But running backs, they don't have that much of a shelf life. That's a they don't have their career is not that long, so but I think that they should just pay them well enough and maybe just give them not such a long term deal. And football anyway, they don't even have guaranteed deals, so I don't know why their CBA is really messed up. Their CBA is not. They should have better deals, and all their money should be guaranteed because it's the most violent and dangerous sport. So it's just silliness, really, when you get into the specifics. But Dalvin Cook is a free agent. He was cut by the Vikings. I think that he's still a good player. There's him and DeAndre Hopkins, the receiver. He was cut by the Cardinals, so they're both free agents. And Dalvin Cook said something about, oh, what if we both team up? That would be scary for the NFL. I think that would, because Dalvin Cook is still a good running back, and Hopkins is still a great receiver. I was surprised that they weren't able to find a trade for him. So yeah, that would be a scary team up. But yeah, minicamp has happened, and I saw Sony Michel re-sign with the Rams. Good for them. They're trying to win, but we'll see what's going to go on there with the Rams, because they had a really bad year last year, and I know they had health issues with their offensive line. But yeah, as we get deeper into the summer, it's gonna be like training camp pretty soon for NFL teams, and then the season's gonna come fast. It's gonna approach in preseason in August and the season in September. So things are moving along. Time goes by fast. Time goes by fast. What's that line from Ferris Bueller? Stop and smell the roses every once in a while, because life moves at you fast. Just checking, seeing across the timeline before I log off here if anything happened. Reminder to vote for the WNBA All-Star team. Woj just saying on ESPN right now that Brandon Miller is still in the driver's seat to be the second pick. That makes sense. That makes sense for Charlotte, as I mentioned. So many things have come out, so many rumors. There's a lot of players the Lakers could pick. Kobe Buffkin, Derek Lively the second, Jet Howard, Nick Smith Jr., and Noah Clowney. But again, we'll see if they pick someone at 17 or they trade the pick. I think they would definitely pick. In the second round, because they have that second round 47 pick. Clippers potentially flipping Morris for Brogdon. I mentioned that. That would be weird. People talking about, if they trade Paul George, that would be bad for them, because they traded a lot for Paul George. Oh, Lakers could target Miles Turner and Buddy Hield in a trade. That's interesting. That would be interesting. I'm a big fan of Miles Turner. Getting Buddy Hield, potentially like turning Malik Beasley into Buddy Hield, would be good, because they're the same player, except Buddy Hield is an excellent shooter and more reliable. More reliable in the high 30%. Yeah, there's nothing much else here going on. Just wanted to scroll through. I know might not be really entertaining right now. My bad, y'all. Just trying to see if anything pops off before I log off. See if anything pops off. Yeah, no, okay. The pieces that they want from Miami are the pieces Miami wants to trade in order to have Dame Lillard. That's not a trade Miami's going to make. That totally makes sense. I don't see Miami moving Dame. I saw, I had an exchange with Sam Quinn from CBS on Twitter yesterday, and he was talking about trading Bam for Scoot Henderson, and I was like, well, is he ready to win now? And he said no, but he would go to Dame and be like, or not Dame, he would go to Jimmy Butler and say, hey, we really want to win with this core, but if not, we want you to move forward. And that would be Miami blowing it up, and I don't see that happening because my point was Pat Riley is older. He's like in his late 70s, so he's still working. I think he wants to get another championship from Miami, or at least try to. That he's a fierce competitor, so I wouldn't see him trying to rebuild. Scoot's a great player, but they're just not in that mode. They have Jimmy Butler still in his prime, in his early 30s, so they need to try to win now, and Scoot just ain't winning now, right? I think he might be ready to play, but he's not ready for like a championship run. And if they trade Bam, then that's a huge part of what they do down there. So it was just hypothetical. I don't see it happening. But that was the exchange that I had with Sam Quinn. That was interesting yesterday. All right. So that's going to do it. That's going to do it for this episode of the Sports Download. Thanks, y'all, for tuning in. Please like and subscribe and post a comment if you have any questions, you want me to talk about any potential trade ideas. It's silly season. Any potential trades before the draft or whatever, hit me up in the comments. Because it's silly season, nothing is too silly. Everything is gonna go out there in the Twitterverse, in the universe, on the internet. Everything's gonna be out there. Draft night is going to be Thursday, the 22nd. So I'm probably gonna drop an episode. Probably Friday or Saturday, I'll drop an episode talking about the draft and if the Lakers took a pick at 17 or who they picked at 47, and hopefully they make some trades. Hopefully if they can trade the pick, hopefully they can improve. Just looking to build off of what we did going to the Western Conference Finals, and hopefully they can solidify a winning team to get us to the finals next year and win championship number 18. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Peace, love, and God bless, and I'll see y'all next time.